Connecting to the server, and we've started.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Valley Economic Alliance Tech Tools series, where we educate Valley businesses on topics, all kinds of topics related to technology, which will help companies to increase revenues, reduce costs, and access capital. I'm Sonia Blake, President and CEO of the Valley Economic Alliance, and I'm very, very pleased to welcome you to today's program. The Alliance is here to help promote economic development, workforce development, and livable and sustainable communities, a great quality of life here in the San Fernando Valley region by retaining and attracting employers to our region. And that includes many cities: Burbank, Calabasas, Glendale, Los Angeles, and San Fernando, and beyond. We're here to serve businesses. So we encourage you to reach out to us at thevalley.net/assistance. And that's where you can learn how we help you build your business if you're growing, and to stay in business if you're struggling. And you can also just simply keep in touch by joining our email list to stay informed because we do programs on various topics relevant to businesses. Our program today is all about technology, tech tools that can help you to work more effectively and more efficiently. And I'm very pleased to be thanking our partners and speakers today, Small Business Majority and Tinq. And we really couldn't do this program without these wonderful subject matter experts and partners to really help advance the work. What we share is we are passionate about businesses, about small businesses, about all businesses being able to access the tools, resource, and information that they need in order to start and grow and thrive. So with that, I'm very happy to pass the mic on to Latavia Pineda from Small Business Majority, who will continue our program today. And I just thank you so much, Latavia, for your partnership.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me here today. Very excited to have been able to partner with you all on this great webinar series. And I'm just going to start off by giving you all a little bit of information about Small Business Majority so you can understand a little bit better how we support our small business community. First of all, my name is Latavia Pineda. I am the Southern California Outreach Manager for Small Business Majority. We are a national education and advocacy nonprofit that focuses on empowering America's small businesses and the self-employed to create a more thriving and inclusive economy. And a lot of that has to do with creating better jobs and more sustainable business practices. We have a network of more than 80,000 businesses across the country in our offices in California, Colorado, the Midwest, the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, and Georgia. We have a good chunk of businesses here in California. We support businesses throughout the entire state. So even if you're not located in the Southern California area, we have great outreach managers in Central California and Northern California. So even if you have friends who are small business owners and you want to connect them with our network, please do so. We are not membership based, so you all can access all of our tools and information completely for free. I wanted to highlight really quickly our resource platform called venturize.org. On Venturize, we have tons and tons of information centralized for you all as small business owners, and that includes a really great resource provider locator map. You go on to venturize.org, you go to resources, you click search. You'll type in your zip code, and then a great list of different types of resource providers pops up. And then you're able to kind of find more information to better assist your small business. And of course, one of the organizations on there is the Valley Economic Alliance. I also want to highlight our COVID-19 page where we have information about grants, loans, and other emergency assistance, including information about PPE, rent assistance, all sorts of great information to help you make sure that not only that your business is surviving, but also thriving when possible. And if you're looking for a loan, we have a great tool called Match Finder, and this connects small businesses with vetted community development financial institutions, or CDFIs, who are able to make low interest or lower interest loans to small businesses to help you grow as a business. I also want to encourage you to become a small business spokesperson. I said earlier that a lot of what we do is advocacy oriented, and that is all possible because of our small business spokespeople. So that's people who are willing to speak about their experiences as entrepreneurs and about the role of small business in our great state as well as throughout the country. And you can do that by sharing your story with us through either of these links, and all of this is available on smallbusinessmajority.org. I know that a lot of you have questions about different types of assistance that is out there, and especially state-led assistance. So if you have kind of thoughts or input into what you would like to see come out of different legislation, I highly encourage you to contact your representative and senator, especially for those of you who maybe have thoughts around capital. This is a great time to get in contact with your representative as the budget is being finalized. Lastly, I encourage you to stay in touch with Small Business Majority, join our online community forum where you're able to connect with other small business owners and the SBM staff. Join our mailing list to get updates about events just like this one and all of the others that we host throughout the state and at the national level. Visit our website, and that's where we store a lot of our research. And then venturize.org is where we store all of our great resources and tools. Here is my contact information. If you ever want to reach me, feel free to call or email anytime, and I do my best to get back to all of our small business owners. And I'd always be more than happy to connect you with resources to ensure that your needs as small business owners are being met and that your questions are being answered. But with that, I will turn it over to Michael. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Latavia. I appreciate it. And what I'm going to do, my name is Michael Carter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly talk about the business tool tutorial series, and then I'm going to introduce Talon from Tinq, who's going to be doing our first presentation in the business tool tutorial series. So just so folks know, to provide some context, all throughout the month of April, we are going to be connecting with organizations that support small business owners through their products or through their services. And we're going to be having folks do demos of what they offer so that folks can have a firm understanding, small business owners like yourselves can have a firm understanding of what products and tools are available to them to maximize their business, so they can worry less about, the logistics of running the business and more about new strategies to make profits and grow the business, because that's what we're here for, right? So I'm appreciative of everyone that's attending, and I hope that folks will be able to attend our upcoming events all throughout the month of April, specifically the next 2 Tuesdays in April. So that being said, I do want to introduce Talon from Tinq. Talon has been a great partner for the Valley Economic Alliance. She has been able to be open and willing to talk and discuss with business owners their needs around the product services of Tinq, and that is something that is invaluable when it comes to quality service from emerging organizations. So that being said, you didn't come here to hear me talk about the business tool tutorial series. You came here to hear Talon talk about Tinq and what it can do to strengthen your business and what it can do to provide high quality products and services. That being said, I'm going to turn it over to Talon for to give you guys what you came for.
Wow, thanks so much. That was the best introduction. And a big, big thank you to the Valley Economic Alliance, as well as the Small Business Majority, for inviting us to be a part of this webinar series. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to actually start off with an interactive session. So I will allow you guys to multitask just a little bit at the beginning. We're going to do some poll questions. And this will just allow us to get a feel for the audience today. What is most interesting to you, where your business is at today. We'll talk through a quick Tinq intro, going over some key features. I'll show you around the application. And then last but not least, an exclusive offer for participants today. So let's start off with the poll questions. I'm going to ask that you please answer these questions by using the chat box. If you hover towards the top of your screen, you should see that chat option come up. Go ahead and click, and using the chat box, you can put the corresponding letter to go. So first question is, how do you currently track employee labor hours in your business? Are you tracking that by paper, email or text, software application, an Excel spreadsheet? Maybe you're not currently tracking any employee hours today, or maybe there's another way or tool that you are utilizing to do that. So I will give you a couple of minutes. Let's see, as the responses are rolling in. We have don't currently track. We have a software application. I'll give you guys one more minute because I do see a few more participants. Let's see if we can get a few more responses before we move on. As we're doing that, there is no wrong answer here, of course, anything that works for your business, but I do want to mention a few of the benefits to actually use in an application to track labor hours. If you are doing paper or maybe email, text, maybe you have the paper time cards, oftentimes that doesn't necessarily give you the full story of time tracking. So there's no validation of employees taking breaks. It doesn't timestamp any clock-ins, clocks outs, and no one loves doing manual calculations. So by using an application to track your employee hours, all of this is taken care of for you. You have the validation, you have the ability to pull reports of those employee labor hours, and you have the ability to see the timestamps. Another cool feature, which we will go over in a bit, is geotagging. And Tinq allows you to pin locations based on time entries of employees. I'll show you what that means in a bit. Let's move on to the poll question number 2. Where are your employees typically working? The workspace may have changed quite a bit in this past year. And I want to know where you guys are working today. Is it on site? Do you guys have a mix? Maybe on site, on the field? Are you working from home? If you are, I hope you're enjoying it. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to respond here. So we have on site. We have more on site. We have a 50-50 mix. All right, great. So we have a mixed bag here. So why this is important? Well, for time tracking purposes or even scheduling, it's helpful for us to understand where your employees are working. One of the things that is important is to have the ability to actually do time tracking by your device. Tinq does go across platforms, so whether you're in office and you want to do your time tracking on your laptop, you can actually also take that in onto the go if you're also on the field with your mobile application. As I mentioned, if you do have employees working from multiple locations or even on the field, we do have geotagging, which pins location based on time entry. So if you want to validate exactly where and when your employees are clocking in, that feature is available to you by using Tinq. And last but not least, this feature has been helpful for COVID-related exposure. So based on today's world, we do unfortunately have a pandemic going on, and the COVID-19 exposures are very serious, especially in a workplace. And I hope it would never happen, but if that should happen into the office or at a specific job site, the Tinq application will allow you to see exactly who was working in that office and exactly what time. So you'll be able to, of course, alert the employees appropriately and then do any kind of state regulated reporting as well. And final question today is, which feature or features would be most important for your business? And this will help me understand which features would be the best to really hone in on today during the demonstration. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. All of the above, great. I will make sure to make interest in all of the features. And let's see, all of the above. Okay, great. Well, I'm happy to hear that because we will be reviewing all of these features today: time tracking, timesheets, scheduling, leave absences, and labor cost reports. So without further ado, before we get into the presentation, I do want to tell you a little bit about Tinq. Tinq is your personalized team management champion. From the moment you or your employee clocks in, we are with you to help you go through those business administrative tasks, from time tracking to scheduling to preparing reports to understand your labor cost analytics, timesheets. We're with you along the way, whether or not your employees are in office, on a job site, or work from home. Our founders are experienced leaders in human resources and technology, and Tinq was created to help small businesses thrive. So very much like the Small Business Maturity and the Valley Economics Alliance, that is our mission. We want to help small businesses thrive. We want to give them the opportunity to have great access to tools. And we, of course, want to be flexible. Now, as a small business, you have your ebbs and flows, and we understand that. We want to make sure that there's no long-term contracts. We don't have any hidden fees. We know that not one size fits all. So there's a high level of customization for our application. You have a completely dedicated support team to help you along the way, make sure that you're set up for success, and of course, use your own device. Laptop, mobile, and we'll actually go through that in the next slide. Now, we did briefly mention web and mobile. All of these features, from time tracking, scheduling, requesting time off, are available on web and mobile. Now, kiosk is something that may be a little bit new to you. Kiosk allows you to do time entry on a dedicated internet-connected device. Now, if you're working on site, you have an office, you can actually dedicate tablets or computers to allow employees to have a designated spot to do their time entry. And that goes from actually employees creating their unique pins to do their time entries for clock in, clock out, and breaks. And another feature that allows you to verify that the actual employee with that pin is who they say they are. We have a facial recognition feature that's available for front-facing camera devices as well. These are all very easy to set up. We are available on mobile for iOS and Android. We have a web sign up, and all of this will also be provided to you at the end of the presentation. So you make sure you understand how and how you can actually sign up. Now, a few of you said you don't currently track time for your labor hours, and or you're doing it on paper. Now, there's quite a few benefits when it comes to time tracking on Tinq. And first off, pretty obvious, but data collection as far as employee hours, calculating those hours, all of it's automated. So you don't need to worry about going in and calculating the hours. All of it's automated, so you actually have the ability to pull reports, filter through employees, specific locations and departments, and you reduce fraud, human error. It happens. Build trust and accountability. Our timesheets have a double approval for compliance. This allows employees, as they're reviewing their timesheets, to ensure that there's no errors before they're submitting to their managers for approval. This way, we shift the responsibility to the employees to verify that all of their time entries are correct. If they need to make any adjustments, they can do so at that time. And Once they do submit their timesheets to the manager, at that point, the manager can then approve, or if they need to, again, kick back the timesheets for the employee to make those corrections. So that's a huge, huge piece. Real-time labor costs. Let's give you data to make those business decisions on how you're creating schedules or how you're estimating your project costs. We do have real-time labor costs available to you, and we'll actually show that and demo that for you in a bit. Payroll accuracy. Let's establish payroll policies. We don't want any room for question. We don't want any room for employees feeling like there's unfair policies within your organization. So let's establish that from the front. We can customize time off settings. We can customize holidays. Perhaps you have specific overtime rules that you need to implement based on your state or county or industry. Those are all things that you can do to customize on your Tinq account. And last but not least, if you're doing paper calculations or submitting time through text or email, it's hard for you to see trends and insights. And one of the things that's really nice is you're able to see insights of repeated offenders. Perhaps there's some employees that are maybe becoming unreliable, or maybe there's some systematic absences, which is costing your organization a lot of money and interruptions in projects. This is something that you can easily pull reports on with using Tinq. Now that I've given you some benefits, let's talk about some key features. We've talked about time tracking. We've talked about employee reports, which are customizable and available to you on web or mobile. Creating schedules and publishing those schedules. We actually also have a scheduling swap and drop. So if for some reason your employees become unavailable last minute, that is something that your employees can do to shift or trade shifts. Geotagging, which again, you will be able to pin locations for every time entry that your employee makes. Labor costing, and then of course, vacation and sick leave. We're also very excited to add to our ecosystem of features. We are currently working on task management, CRM, dispatching, and mileage tracking. Without further ado, let me show you around. Welcome to your Tinq dashboard. I will be showing you around our application from an administrator's point of view. This is your dashboard, and this is really where your driver's seat is on your web. You have a few data points available to you at a glance for yourself as far as your schedule goes, your time card, your hours worked for the day or for the month, but also you have the ability to see your employees and their real-time user status, whether they're clocked in, clocked out, or on break. That's all available to you on your dashboard. You're also able to see that pinned location we keep mentioning. So for instance, if we take a look at Lana Turner, it looks like she clocked in at 10:18 a.m. and she is tagged into the Tinq LA office. Now, I also want to say before I move on, there's always this little bubble right at the bottom corner. I want you to see that you have the Tinq bot available to you for any questions that is, a quick question for our Tinq support team. It's available to administrators and employees, and that's live here on the website. Now that you've seen the dashboard, let's start our day with Tinq. I'm going to go ahead and clock in. And now you can see my clock in, the timer has started, and now I have the availability to actually start break or clock out right from my dashboard. Now, multi-device data is transferred. So what that means is though I'm clocking in on my website, all of that data will also be live time on my mobile. So if I clocked in on my web dashboard, I can still utilize my mobile to clock in, clock out, or take a break, and all of that time or entry will sync between both devices. Now that I've clocked in, you can see that the ticker has started and my time card, which shows the entries for my entire day of breaks, clock-ins, and clock-outs will all show there. I'm going to move to the left-hand panel. As an employee, what's available to employees is the ability to review and submit timesheets, review and request time off. They can see any current or future shifts. And if there's any specific days that they will become unavailable, they can also make sure that that's on the calendar for their teams to see. From an administrator's point of view, we see schedule, timesheets, time off, reports, and settings. So now that I'm clocked in, I'm ready to go ahead and create a schedule for the team. I'm going to click schedule. Schedule will bring me to the manage scheduling tool. Now, there are a few options that are available to you to make better decisions based on who you're going to schedule, which locations, and statistics. So my schedule, I can actually choose to filter through specific locations if I have multiple branches. I can choose to view this calendar by specific employees or locations, and then of course toggle the date range. I also have stats available to me. Now this is a labor stats on labor cost analytics that allows you to see a bit more data before making those schedules for your projects to come. I'm able to actually toggle this by week, employee, or location. And all of this is essentially calculated based on the pay rates that you have inputted for each employee. This information is real time. So as I'm actually creating schedules based on employees or locations, this will then shift the statistics that are showing here. So for this specific instance, based on the employees who have been scheduled, I'm able to see the specific cost for that week, the total number of hours, employees, and locations that I have on the calendar for that week. Now, let's say perhaps this cost isn't meeting the needs based on this project estimate. I'm going to go ahead and say that for this specific project, I no longer need Sharon. I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment, remove that shift. I'm going to remove all of the following shifts, and that will go ahead and it seems that did, okay. Seems like there's a little bit of a hang up here, but typically that will again shift the data that will occur here. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like if I do add an actual shift and how that shifts the data available to you. So Lana Turner, I'm going to go ahead and add her schedule for the Tinq LA office. We will schedule her for the shift date of the 17th, and I would like to repeat that actually through the end of the month. She typically works on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And you can see as I was adding through the actual shift, that shift cost changed based on the shift length. So if I decided that I wanted to actually schedule her until 6 p.m., you see that that increased to 600. I'm going to go ahead and click save, and there you go. It's as easy as that. I now see that Lana Turner is scheduled starting from Saturday the 17th. Now, something that I mentioned to you earlier, if an employee does become unavailable last minute, or they say, oops, you know what, I was previously available on Friday, but I'm no longer available on Friday, they can choose to actually swap those shifts or drop those shifts with members of their team with your approval. Now that I've created my schedule, my team is going to start working on these specific projects. So I'm going to move over to timesheets and show you that you have the ability to review timesheet reports and actually approve timesheet reports right here on your application. So let's see what we have available for this selected period. So I see that I have Lana Turner and Victor Kelly have timesheets that are pending my approval. These timesheets are available based on the selected payroll period, start end range, any regular time, overtime, double time, the amount of breaks that they have taken, and then the number of timesheets that are pending my approval for that selected pay period. I can simply choose to approve, reject, or take a quick look into what's been actually submitted to me. So again, it's in chronological order from the date, start, end date, all of the time entries that have been submitted to me, and the type. So it looks like Victor has submitted over these timesheets for me to approve. I'll take a look at Lana Turner. She has submitted these timesheets available for my approval. And if I ever needed to, I can also choose to export that to take a closer look, or even just for file. Once these look good to me and I check them off, I'm able to approve those individuals. I can approve all, or I can reject and have my employees make those adjustments. Time off, this is where all time off entries will be submitted to the administrators for review. And all of this is based on any kind of customized time vacation requests that you allot to your employees. So all of that is customizable. If I do have any employees that have actually submitted time off requests, whether that's vacation, sick leave, all of that will be viewable to me on the pending tab, and I am able to approve, reject, or view details from here as well. On the all tab, this will be the historical view of all time requests that have been submitted to me for my employees. Now that my team has covered timesheets, they've taken some vacation time, I want to look at some reports. This will give me an idea of what's taken place as far as my workforce goes. What time entries, where is the money going into my organization? What are the labor costs? All of this you can choose to filter by on the report section. This can be filtered by active employees, specific locations, departments. Perhaps there's employees that are no longer working with your organization, but you still need to look through some data. All of those filters are here available to you. And you can also select specific employees, choose a selected pay period, or make that customized start range and end range as well. So I selected all of the employees. I'm going to go ahead and click search. And what this gives me is a nice breakdown to just understand where is the time being spent? Am I getting any overtime? Are we seeing the overtime with specific individuals, specific teams, locations? And this will allow me to either export for individual employees through PDFs, Excel, CSV, and or export to all employees. So you can have a nice summary report there. So here's an example of an all employees timesheet report, we have Monday through Sunday. Victor Kelly is this specific snapshot, the total hours, the regular double overtime break hours, each individual day, the start time, end time, any breaks that have been entered. And then again, as we scroll down, we see all of the other employees that we selected for this report. Now, Tinq does not do payroll. However, we do have payroll integrations, which we will go over in just a minute. But oftentimes the payroll software does allow for a CSV file upload or Excel upload, and this would be your opportunity to actually export into Excel or CSV to then upload into those payroll applications. And last but not least, settings. It's very important that the tools that you invest in actually work for your organization. There's nothing worse than spending money on an application that doesn't work. And this is why we made sure that all of the aspects as it comes to settings for time off, overtime, any specific permissions for users, payroll, all of these are customizable based on your company, based on your state, based on county regulations. This is all things that you can make sure are working for your organization so there's no hiccups as you are using the application. I'm not going to go into all of these different settings. I just want you to see that a few of the key items that will typically need to be customized: payroll periods. Perhaps your payroll period is bi-weekly, or it's every month or every year. Depending on your organization, again, that is something that you are able to create rules for. Same goes for overtime, based on industry, based on your organization, based on location. All of those overtime rules are created in the back end to then make sure that they are going into the timesheets appropriately. Time off settings, allowing your employees to take specific vacation time. Maybe there's paternal leave, maternal leave, sick time that you want to make sure that you enable. And of course, permissions. If there are specific leadership or administrators that should or shouldn't have certain permissions when it comes to scheduling or timesheets, that's all things that you can actually create and implement in the background. And last but not least, locations and departments. Perhaps your organization is cross-functional and there are certain parameters that you want to create for those designated teams. That is all, again, available to you in the settings section. Now, I am going to flip the switch back into these slides now that I've shown you a bit about Tinq. Again, for the purpose of time, I wanted to make sure that this was an overview for you, but I am always happy, if you want to feel free to contact me. I'm always happy to show you a full demonstration. As I mentioned, payroll integration. We do integrations. We have CSV and Excel file exports as well, but we do work with these organizations: Intuit, QuickBooks Online, and Square Payroll. That is something that Tinq directly integrates with, so you'll have access to submitting over the timesheets directly into these softwares. And we also work with Gusto. Now, the fun part. As a small token of our appreciation for joining today, we do have an exclusive offer for participants. So new users and new company signups today will get 3 months free using the code VEA2021. All of the features that we went over today will be included in your plan. So after those 3 months, the pricing is as follows. If you choose to do a yearly subscription, it's 4 months per user with all features that have been shown to you today. You will save up to 20% annually by doing the yearly subscription. If not, if you need a more flexible plan, monthly $5 per user. And then another perk for nonprofits. Nonprofits are eligible for 25 free licenses with all of the features included today. For more information, you can visit tinq.com/nonprofits. If you're ready to join today, we'd be happy to include you into the Tinq family. You do have a web sign up linked here, which will send over a presentation for you. And then you are able to download the mobile app on the Apple Store as well as Google Play. And before we get into Q&A, again, I want to thank you all so much for joining the tutorial today. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is here. If you'd like me to also do a free demonstration for you or your team, I'm also available for that. So thank you again for having me. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and pass it over to Michael.
The Q&A section. Thanks so much. Like, that was a great presentation, Talon. It was comprehensive.
Thank
It was detailed. It was, the information you need to know to see whether you're interested in Tinq. So I definitely appreciate that. So if folks have questions or things they might want to ask Talon, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And you'll ask your question, and then I'll read out the question that you asked, and then Talon will answer. But I wanted to give advantage of the opportunity of hosting, and I want to ask the first question, if that's okay. So I'm curious, Talon, can you share what do new customers to Tinq who don't know that much about it once they sign up, what are they most impressed with? What feedback do you get from customers that really demonstrates the value of Tinq? What's the most common thing people say? Like all the time, they're like, oh my God, I love Tinq because... I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I think the thing that I continue to hear is that it's not clunky and it's very straightforward and user-friendly. Oftentimes with applications that do time tracking or timesheets, it can be overly complicated. So I think one of the key things that we continuously hear feedback on is how user-friendly it is and how simple it is to customize on their own.
I like it. Being customizable is super important. So that being said, if folks have other questions or have engagement for Talon on the feedback on the presentation, I see in the chat a lot of great jobs and perfects, which is super awesome. But if folks have questions about the tool or how to use it, and if you're feeling shy right now within this meeting, that is totally okay. Folks can reach Talon directly via her email at talon@tinq.com. So feel free to reach out that way, and that address is inside the chat. But one more question, I guess, something I'm curious about. What do you see as the most clear value add for businesses, especially small businesses within the LA area, but also, outside of the LA area when it comes to Tinq? Because I heard you when it comes to the ease of use, like, the usability is really easy, it's flexible. But the question, I guess, is how are you saving time for these small businesses? What does that look like? What's the value add for these small businesses? Because a lot of folks can say, oh, I'm confused. I don't want to have to learn a big new system. I don't want to have to onboard all my employees to something. So what would you say to that? How would you address specifically that small business owner who might be interested in helpful and interested in a tool like Tinq but doesn't know about it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think beyond the obvious, a lot of the timesheets, the hours, all of that is automated for you. So you're saving so much time with that manual calculation. But also when you're putting in all of the data into the application, you have so much data and insight available to you to make those business decisions. So whether it comes to actually scheduling your employees, looking at the labor cost analytics, or even retroactively being able to take insights from your timesheet reports. Maybe you're spending way too much money on overtime, or there are specific trends with specific locations or departments actually bringing more revenue or value to you. Those are all insights that are readily available to you by using Tinq and capturing that data for just reviewing and sharing with your teams and making those business decisions.
Great. Well, a big saying in the business technical support community is entrepreneurs don't know what they don't know. And
Exactly.
being able to
So
access some of
true.
that data and figure out areas to cut those costs, that's super important. So we do have one question. How many employees can use this at the same time?
Oh, how many employees can use this? You mean the application, just to clarify, the application at the same time?
Yep, that's
That number is infinite. I can't put a real value to it, but application can be used by multiple hundreds, thousands of employees at the same time. It is set up to scale with your organization. There is really no limit.
beautiful. That's what we like to hear. No limit. And then Daphne has a question. Are you able to customize the settings to put a limit on the amount of overtime an employee can receive?
Yeah, Daphne, great question. So we are able to customize the settings when it comes to overtime, and that would actually allow you to see those limitations and create specific limitations for employees, teams, or departments. So yes, that is all customizable to you.
All right, beautiful. And we have one more question. Oh, yeah, one more question. Is there a limit to how many locations I can add to my account?
No, that's another one that is actually available to you. There's no limit. Short answer, there really is no limit on creating locations and departments. So have at it.
I love that. I love that. So it's repeatedly no limits. That's what
No
we want to hear
limits.
about products, right? Okay, well, it looks like we've addressed all the questions that are in the Q&A, and we've been able to I've been able to ask my own. I'm a little selfish that way. I like to ask a couple questions that pop up in my head. So I think we've gotten some of the main key points down. I do, if you don't mind, Talon, I'd love for you to just give a reminder for folks on that specific discount, that deal
Yes.
when getting connected with Tinq. Can you remind us about that? Well, what's the value?
Yes, absolutely. So make sure that you are utilizing the promo code VEA2021 to receive 3 months free. And there's no limitations on the amount of employees that you sign up. You like those no limits. So make sure you use that code and you'll get those 3 months free. And then with those, beyond those 3 months, of course, $5 a month per user monthly, or $4 a month per user if you decide to do the yearly subscription. So 3 months free with the promo.
3 months free with the promo. I love that. I love that. All right. Well, that does it for Tinq. I want to thank Tinq so much for coming out and facilitating a wonderful workshop and demo on their products and their services, and also giving those discounts, giving those deals, especially to small business owners. That is something that we exceptionally value. We also want to thank our folks over at Small Business Majority for partnering with us. We really, really appreciate that. And I just want to give folks a little bit of a preview. So this event series, the Business Tool Tutorial series, it's going to be happening throughout the month of April. Our next session is going to be on Tuesday at 11 a.m., which is going to be all the sessions Tuesday at 11 a.m. And we are going to have Finley. Finley is going to be joining us. And Finley's platform allows transferring administrative tasks such as invoicing, payment collection, reconciliation, and customer management seamlessly, thereby giving businesses space and room to manage and scale in one place. So we've kind of, had a great session with Tinq, where we talked about employee management. With Finley next week, we're going to talk about the customer facing experience and how to optimize that particular experience using digital tools. So we're super, super excited about that. And we're really, really happy to have folks attend that. So please spread the information about that. Let folks know about that particular event. And then I'm going to check the chat one more time. It looks like we're all good. And I want to just once again voice appreciation for Talon and Tinq for reaching out to us and or responding when we reached out to them. and creating the conversation around their great products and services. So we're doing this business tool tutorial series to connect small business owners to companies that can help optimize their business practices. That's what we're here for. So we hope to see folks next week, and we are excited about continuing in the process. If you have a friend that you think could benefit from viewing this recording, we will make sure that a recording of this particular event gets out to everybody that registered, and then there will be a link on the Alliance website for folks to view this recording. So feel free to send that around to folks if you know somebody that could benefit from the services that Tinq offers specifically. We want to cast that wide network, especially to help.
No limitations, right? No limitations.
That's right, Talon. No limitations. Well, folks, thank you so much for coming out. We really, really appreciate it. And we will hopefully see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye.